Greetings people, this is me Navika Agarwal, a third year BTech undergrad student from Bennett University, and my topic for today's presentation is gender inequality in artificial intelligence. Before beginning with my presentation, I'd like to talk a little about my university. Bennett University is a private university situated in Greater Noida, founded in 2016 by Times of India Group, which is India's largest media to provide Ivy League quality education to undergraduate and postgraduate students in engineering, management, law, and media. Set up on sprawling 68-acre campus. Over 320 companies came to Bennett for placements, and the average BTech placement is around 9,38,000. For further information, you can visit the Bennett website. Okay. So the topics covered in this presentation are basically introduction to artificial intelligence. Then I'll be briefing you a little on the advantages and disadvantages of AI in today's world. Then I'll be talking about gender bias in technology. Then I'll be stating the researches and significances which have shown the gender biasness. Lastly, I'll be talking about gender bias in AI, followed by the final conclusion. So what is artificial intelligence? Artificial intelligence is the ability of a computer or a robot to do tasks that are usually done by humans because they require human intelligence and human efforts. AI basically allows machines to work efficiently and solve problems. AI is basically simulation of human intelligence in machines that are programmed to think and behave like humans and mimic their actions. Any machine that exhibits traits associated with human mind falls under the artificial intelligence model. So what are the advantages of AI? The first and the greatest advantages of AI system is that they enable humans to be more efficient. AI can be leveraged to perform small, repetitive tasks faster, but it can be used to complete much larger, more complex tasks. Regardless of its application, AI systems are unbound by human limitations and will never get tired. While AI is frequently used to automate entire tasks, it also has many practical applications for improving human workflow, which is our second point. Deep learning technologies like NLPs, natural language processing, and automated speech recognition, ASR, have transformed the way people work in professions like education, media, entertainment, law, and enforcement. The third point is that AI has helped lower human error rates. AI systems don't have to deal with fatigue. Humans, on the other hand, get tired. The human brain can only focus on one task for so long before that focus starts to slip. When people get tired, they are more likely to make poor decisions and become vulnerable to mistakes. Repetitive jobs can be particularly prone to human error. When a task is repetitive, it's easier for humans to lose concentration. But AI systems don't have to focus. They're programmed to their function. According to the Bureau of Labor Statistics, Americans work on average of 8.8 hours a day. Whether we are productive, that's a whole time, is an entirely different story. But machines don't take breaks for coffee. They don't step away from their desk to catch up with their colleagues, and they definitely don't pack up and go back to home at 5 p.m. Digital assistant solutions like chatbots are available to take customer inquiries no matter the time of the day, and thus AI models are available 24/7, which is our last advantage for this presentation. Now, talking about the disadvantages of AI, the first and the most important disadvantage is the high cost of building an AI model or an AI machine. Perhaps one of the biggest disadvantages of artificial intelligence is that AI is slowly replacing a number of repetitive tasks. A simple example is the chatbot, which is a big advantage to organizations but a nightmare for employees. A study by McKinsey predicts that AI will replace at least 30% of human labor by 2030. So thus, there is an increase in unemployment. The second most important disadvantage is high cost of machine building. The ability to create a machine that can stimulate human intelligence is no small feat. It requires plenty of time and resources and can cost a huge deal of money. AI also needs to operate on the latest hardware and software to stay updated and meet the latest requirements, thus making it quite costly. The third disadvantage is that AI has no creativity. It cannot learn to think outside the box. AI is capable of learning over time with prefed data and past experiences, but cannot be creative in its approach. Lastly, it doesn't improve with experience. One of the most amazing characteristics of human cognitive power is its ability to develop with age and experience. However, the same can't be said about AIs as they are machines that can't improve with experience, rather it starts to wear and tear with time. Machines can't alter their responses to changing environments. So, talking about our main topic for the presentation, which is gender biasness. Artificial intelligence has caused a decrease of 50% to 70% in wages, thus creating an income and gender inequality, threatening billions of jobs in various sectors. The mentioned basic information clearly emphasizes on the need for greater participation of women and gender experts in the process of major formulations at the foundation level of every recruitment and related fields. As per a UNESCO report, women have an extremely low share in advanced and modern technical jobs that include non-routine cognitive tasks which are in an urgent demand in the field of digital economy. This is an outcome of lack of access to technology, a major problem in our country. Data at present suggests that only 46% of Indian women between the ages of 15 to 46% own a mobile phone as compared to 56% Indian men owning the same. Gender balance in artificial intelligence application is a serious concern for bringing about a positive social change with the use of technology. Here are some of the examples of biased AI that I would like to elaborate. The pronoun hers is not recognized by most of the widely used technologies for natural language processing. Included in such programs was one created by Amazon Comprehend, the Google Natural Language API, and the Stanford Parser. The second example, back then in 2019, when an Apple application was found to give smaller credit lines to women as compared to men with smaller number of credit scores. The company further said that the algorithm was gender blind, but did admit that the algorithms that were used to set the limits were inherently biased against women. Another example, which was very, very famous and in the news back then in years, was Amazon's secret experimental hiring artificial intelligence model, which ended up being biased against the female candidates. One of their algorithms, which was needed to evaluate resumes, was submitted to the company over a 10 years period, led to major applicants being men. This algorithmic bias was so bent in the favor of male candidates that it literally penalized candidates with the word women in their resumes. Despite of Amazon's team trying to edit the program to make the evaluation and terms gender neutral, the algorithm still favored male candidates only. At the end, they had to remove the algorithm from their recruiting methods. So, just concluding it all, only 22% of the professionals in the AI and data science fields are women, and that they are more likely to occupy the jobs associated with lesser status. Gender bias has creeped into the artificial intelligence models. Women as a whole are a mixture of varied group and face with various realities. These include women who live in rural and remote areas, native women, women from different ethnic and religious minorities, women with disabilities, HIV/AIDS, affected women, etc. Here is a graph showing women vastly underrepresented in Silicon Valley tech jobs, percent of female employees in the workforce of tech companies. As you can see from the graph, women view the ICT sector as male-dominated, and this is putting them off entering the field, according to the International Communications Union, the main partner for international girls in ICT Day. But encouraging girls and women to choose ICT as a career could change this perception and help more women to become leaders in the industry. So, to conclude my presentation, I would like to state a few things. Firstly, India must closely look at satisfying roles for women in major digital services. Looking at the scenario during the pandemic, India failed to badly address the needs and demands of women or the issues of their access to the basic facility, internet, and many other digital services. Secondly, At present, voices of women can hardly be represented in growing sectors like cloud computing or digital deliverable services. Lastly, society must be more responsive to the need of gender minorities and